Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? This is Daniel. I'm here back with another review. Like I promised you guys, I'm here with Neo Nonfiction. I just want to let you know that this is my last album review for the month of January. Um, if you want to keep seeing my reviews and continue seeing dope content, please comment in the comment section. Be a consistent follower of this channel. I promise I will not let you guys down. This is a priority of mine for this year, so I will stick with it. Please continue supporting me as much as you can. Please share this video to friends, family, whoever you know. And yeah, this is my 5th review of the month. I want to ask you guys, which 5 albums do you think I should review for the month of February? If you have opinions on that, comment in the comment section. I already have 5 in mind, but I wanted to ask for your guys' opinions on which 5 albums you think I should review. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate it. I wanted to start off with Nonfiction and Neo, and wanted to talk about what I thought about this album. Neo, of course, that name rings a bell. He's an R&B soulful artist who is known for his collaborations with multiple artists and making hits for multiple star-studded mainstream artists such as Beyonce, Rihanna, Kelly Rowland, Pitbull, and he's also known for writing Mario's hit in 2004, Let Me Love You, which completely stormed the mainstream charts, and that's basically how he received all that recognition. And he first started his singing career in 2005 with singles Stay and So Sick, which he rose to fame with on the radio. And Neil has always had a great ability to write songs and to execute and blend his own interpretation on the record perfectly, which he has shown in his older material such as In My Own Words, Because of You, and has even been able to manage making a mainstream pop-like album that stayed true to his roots on Year of the Gentleman. Neil has always had the special ability that he's been able to remain a premier source of R&B that is both traditional and contemporary at the same time, and he's been able to combine and mesh those styles together and make it relevant to a mainstream audience while still sticking to the true essence of R&B, while also making it radio friendly, which I think he's been able to do perfectly in the past few years. I feel like Libra Scale, which was 2010, still had that balance and quality of those aspects, but I think after that project, I think it started going completely downhill for Neo on his 2012 project Red, which to me, it wasn't particularly bad, but it didn't give me any wow moments and left me wanting more. A lot of the tracks and singles were flat, bland, and forgettable. I just didn't feel connected to Neo on that project. I feel like he was kind of going towards a more EDM, Euro pop dance route, which I just was not feeling. I wasn't feeling the new direction he was going with his music. I kind of feel like he was lacking his R&B roots. I kind of feel like his R&B roots were kind of diminishing, and he was kind of selling out. And I was kind of disappointed with that project because it just didn't sound like Neo. It almost sounded soulless, and it felt more like a pure pop record with EDM and pop influences, and dance influences, which I was not feeling. So I was curious to see if he was going to bounce back on Nonfiction. This album started off with Running Island with Schoolboy Q. Initially coming into this, man, I was stoked to hear Schoolboy Q on this as a featured artist, and I was really enjoying the first minute of this with his verse. I thought Q was killing it. However, shortly after his verse, man, I became kind of disinterested after, man. It left me wanting more. My interest started to completely dwindle after Q's verse, man. I mean, Neo's vocals sounded bland. The production to me just wasn't special. And I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, something that sparked my interest. And after that track, I was a little disappointed, but then we got to Integrity, which to me was the first track on this album that remotely sparked my interest. It contained great soulful riffs and vocal gymnastics that Neo was incorporating. It kind of left me in awe for a second. It kind of reminded me of the old Neo that I've been missing so far on this album. And although that quickly altered with the next track on this One More, which I did not care for at all whatsoever. The hook was very underwhelming, and the lyrics were so amateur and so completely beneath Neo's capabilities. Then we got the Time of Our Lives, which is another track that it's one track that has been completely storming the charts with Pitbull, and I think it has like 17 or 18 million views now on YouTube, and clearly it's been a critical acclaimed success in the radio. So, but overall, it had a catchy vibe. It was a catchy tune that was intended for mainstream radio, of course. But it just left me unsatisfied and kind of bored. I've heard this type of production and types of lyrics before. This is nothing new to me. I feel like I've heard this before. It's nothing special to me, and I kind of feel like on this album the quality and content kept significantly diminishing after a while, and this just entailed another weak hook that I just did not care for. And Taking You Home was another track that also had a very underwhelming hook. This track is almost emotionless and very subdued in my opinion. I feel like Neo's vocals were just subpar on this. I feel like his vocals, he was losing his spark with his voice. I felt very disconnected. I was really hoping for a track to come to really grab my attention. Coming With You actually was not too bad. I thought it was one of the more interesting tracks in this album. It had a catchy production that sounded EDM Euro popish with a dance flair to it. But at the same time, it actually sounded pretty fresh that I can hear on the radio. So this wasn't too bad. And then we got to Take You There, which was not bad at all. It's actually one of my favorite tracks on this album. Take You There brings back that soulful essence that this album has been lacking. Thus far, Neo finally shows some compelling vocal abilities that I was pretty impressed by. He really displayed such a rich, silk smooth tone on this. And this is the Neo that we need. And this is the Neo that has been desperately lacking thus far in this project. Come on, we need this kind of passion in the rest of the album. And but then, of course, we get to the utterly atrocious track Storytime, which for me was not only the worst track on this album, but arguably the worst track in Neo's entire career, man. Yep, I went there. This track is utterly atrocious. in terms of the lyrics, the concept, and even sonically speaking. The lyrics, man, they sounded so uninspired, and no emotion was put into this at all, man. It sounded like he was writing this in the club, and he had that one line, "You never know, get to open up your mind. You only live once." I mean, what the hell are you talking about, Neil? You are 32 years old, man. And you're still talking like this? Sounds like he's some 16-year-old punk who has no ambition and just wants to hook up with girls. And man, this just sounds so amateur and so beneath Neo's abilities, and it just left me really disappointed. And I thought this was a terrible track, man. I gotta be honest with you. If you thought this was a good track, then you were tripping. I mean, seriously. Sonically speaking, it was also not interesting. The production was very bland and very samey. I just, ugh. Overall, well, this album, let me just tell you first, this album had a few bright moments, such as Integrity, Coming With You, Take You There, Religious Rasher With Your Friends, which wasn't too bad. I kind of liked that track, wasn't too bad. And even Money Can't Buy, which had, some type of message, and was one of the first tracks on this album that actually had some type of substance and meaning that caught my attention. That Neil was trying to display, stating that money can't buy happiness, that happiness has to come within you. All that materialistic stuff that doesn't matter. I mean, it's all about how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life. That's what buys happiness, not money and materialistic aspects, which I think he displayed great. That was a good track. And also, I thought, but overall, man, I gotta be completely honest with you, even though those tracks I liked, overall, I think this album lacked a lot of consistency and fluidity, especially in terms of a lyrical standpoint. I felt like Neo sounded very immature, very shallow, very uninspired. I feel like this was completely beneath him. I feel like he completely sold out on this. I feel like there were some tracks that just were downright awful. Talking about hooking up with girls in the club, and his son is so high school. Man, you are 32 years old, man. Grow up, man. I mean, I know that he was trying to appeal to probably to a mainstream audience with this, but this just sounded stupid. I mean, even I'm more mature than this, and I'm 22. I mean, it's like, come on, bro. Like, you really got to be talking about this? I mean, is this really what you do? And is this really what inspires you to make music? Like, come on, man. Bring back that soulful Neo who was a storyteller, who had compelling thoughts, and who was able to conduct and create an actual story like he did with So Sick. I kind of miss that Neo right now. I just feel like he also struggled a lot sonically and with the production as well. He incorporated a lot of fluffy production. A lot of this seemed repetitive, recycled, and overdone. This is nothing new here, nothing original. I feel like it was very trite throughout. So for me, this was not on par with his potential at all, and with his abilities. I thought a lot of his writing abilities were almost non-existent here. He didn't even sound like a proficient writer to me. It just sounded very uninspired and one-dimensional, nothing creative, and just disappointing, unfortunately for me. And I'm a relatively big Neo fan, but this just had me bored, man. I gotta be real with you. Um, if you like this album, cool, but I personally did not. And usually I'm not the type to be so harsh on albums, but this got me upset because I know what Neo is capable of, and this is not what he's capable of. Um, Let me know what you thought of this. Were you as upset as I was, and why? Or did you really like this album? Please let me know in the comment section. Alright, well, thank you for tuning in for my last album review of the month. Can't believe it's already been 5 albums. Can't believe it's going to be February tomorrow. It's crazy, man. Thank you so much for supporting me. I have an idea of what 5 albums I'm going to review, but I want to see what you guys think or what I should review. And thank you for tuning in. Alright?